We are all going to die one day. I have Momento Mori written in big capital letters on the top of my whiteboard here. And I also have a calendar on my fridge with one dot representing 1 week of my life, and there's 90 dots. I fill them in as I live. And it's a reminder that life is short, so I should make the most out of my time. I shouldn't waste time doing anything short of what I really care most about doing in life, spending time with loved ones, pursuing my passions, and working towards my dreams. A lot of people have a kind of a funny reaction when they come in my home and they see on my fridge that I have a 90-year life calendar on my fridge representing how long I have left to live, assuming that I live to 90. The reaction that I often get often displays a lot of discomfort, a lot of fear, and it really tells me that people don't really think about this. Death is a touchy topic, but it's very valuable to remember that you're going to die one day so that you live a life that you want to live. It's been a very good trick for me to get my priorities straight. Just remembering I'm going to die, remembering my death. On that note, let's get to the other part of this title. The top 5 regrets of the dying. Bronnie Ware is an Australian palliative care worker, or at least she used to be. I'm not sure if she still is. And also author. She wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And here are some of her observations in working with people who are on their deathbed. I'm going to go through them. I'll let you can pause and really let them sink in and reflect on them for you personally. But I'm just going to go through all 5 of them, and then we will discuss them a little bit after I go through the list. So here's the list. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. Number 5, I wish that I had let myself be happier. So that's the list that she puts together in this book, drawing on her experience of being a palliative care worker. The one that I find most important is the first one. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. The expectations of others is so huge when it comes to how we choose to live our lives and the choices that we make regarding our career path, our financial decisions, how we make our money and what we choose to do with our money, essentially. I would say this is the most important regret of the dying to reflect on. In a perfect world, on your deathbed, you'll have no regrets. So this is important to consider. What are some common regrets of individuals on their deathbed? And this being one of them does not surprise me in the slightest when you observe the world around you and when you really reflect to yourself, if you haven't done so yet, it becomes quite evident that people are not living a life that is authentic to them, largely because they don't even know, they're not even fully in touch with their authentic selves. So it's very important to consider, what do I value? If you want to live a life that is authentic to you and not, regret this at the end of your life, it's important to consider these things. What do I find valuable to me? What are some passions that I have? What is a difference that I want to make in the world? Am I living in accordance with all the answers that you just gave to those questions? Those are very important questions to ask. I'll actually throw them up on the screen here. If you want to live a life of authenticity, and then knowing what is authentic to you is just the first step. The second step is actually having the courage to actualize that in the world. So, it's one thing to know what you authentically want for yourself, but it's another thing to go ahead and do it. And some barriers to this are, the judgments that we might face from others, the judgments and the ridicule, but also the fact that it's not a beaten path oftentimes. What we want to do that's authentic to us, we kind of have to make our own path rather than just following a path that's already, mowed down in the tall grass. We gotta get our machete and go do some bushwhacking. And that takes more effort, but it's a lot more fruitful. And this has been very evident to me in my life. And sometimes it's hard, but the extra effort is worth it because it's so much more fruitful for my soul. It makes me feel alive that I'm doing work that I actually care about. It's very important to consider what is valuable to you and what your authentic self looks like if you want to live a life of authenticity. The second one is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. So let's talk about that for a second. Now, I wouldn't be quick to, bash hard work. Hard work is very important. If you want to have success in anything in life, you're going to have to do some hard work. But I think what this is speaking to is an imbalance of work, and especially work that we don't enjoy. I've watched some videos where people that are super successful, have millions, maybe billions of dollars, are being interviewed, and they're asked, was it worth it? And a lot of times the answer is no, because they had to miss so much of their family, maybe their children's lives growing up. And when they look back, they could have been very successful still and got to spend time doing other things that they really loved, but instead they were chasing more money, more money, more money. So now they're hyper successful, ultra successful. They're a billionaire instead of a multimillionaire. But they missed a lot of important events in their child's lives and things like this. The sun came out, so I'm gonna put some sunglasses on. I happen to have my fanny pack on, and there's a pair of shades in here. That's convenient. I did not plan for that at all. Sweet, now I can get in the sun here. All right, I think what this is speaking to is the fact that a lot of people spend a lot of time and energy on work. We have a hustle culture. In today's culture, it's all about more, and more money. When in reality, the research shows that once you hit a certain point, more money doesn't necessarily make you happier. So spending less time doing the work, and more time doing things that you value outside of work, having more of a balance, is most likely going to help you negate that regret. The next one, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Oftentimes there are very difficult conversations that ought to be had with maybe some friends or some family. Maybe there's some boundaries that you wish to make, or you want to express the way you feel about how you don't appreciate when they do this or that. Or maybe there's a girl or a guy you really like and you never mustered up the courage to, express yourself to them. And now you're stuck in the friend zone for the rest of your life. Stuff like this. Having the courage to express yourself is very liberating. It can be very scary, but it's very liberating. And when you remember that you're gonna die, it's a lot more easy. It's a lot more simple. Because what's the worst that happens? Maybe you get rejected when you express yourself. Maybe your expressions aren't accepted. Maybe you get rejected in a way of your feelings get dismissed. And at least you tried. Right? At least you went forth. At least you put in the effort. At least you're not going to be, at the end of your life, having regrets about not expressing yourself. Okay, there's some clouds out now, so these can come off. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. One of the longest research papers in the world on happiness actually goes to show that the most important thing for a happy life for a human being is to have not necessarily very, very many, but to have close, intimate relationships. Now, that can be romantic, that can be platonic, but at least a few very close relationships with other humans go a long way for our happiness. So prioritizing your friendships can be important in that way for sure. And this doesn't mean you should hold on to toxic friends. It's not a bad thing to let some friends go when you see fit, but I think it's very important to thrive in life, shades going back on, to develop a few very close friendships and even perhaps a romantic relationship. Again, I'm no expert on this. I'm quite young. I'm not at the end of my life by any means, I hope. But from what I can recall in my life so far, on the small amount of experience that I have in this life already, these all resonate quite a bit. So let me know if they resonate with you as well. The last one is, I wish that I had let myself be happier. Well, that's very vague, so I won't speak on that too much. You can go ahead and grab her book and check it out if you're interested in the conversations that she had with the patients in palliative care. But I would say to that last one, I wish that I'd let myself be happier. Go ahead and reflect on the first four, and letting yourself be happier will fall right into your lap. It'll fall right into place. So these are the top 5 regrets of the dying, according to palliative care worker Bronnie Ware. And I think that these are all very valuable things to contemplate. I'm not an expert on this by any means. I'm kind of just sharing some information and sharing my thoughts on these regrets. But what I will say is that I have reminded myself almost daily. I see it, the Momento Mori, and I see my calendar every day that I'm going to die. And there's a certain morbidity that might come with that if you're a little bit afraid of death. But once you come to accept the fact that your own death is inevitable, I think you'll have a lot better relationship with death. And you can move into a place where it's empowering to remember your own death. It feels very empowering for me to remember that I'm going to die one day, because it helps me to keep my eye on the ball and to keep my priorities straight, to not let the judgment and the possibility of ridicule from others hold me back from chasing my dreams and living an authentic life according to my own philosophies and my own personal values. So I just wanted to make this video because I think it's very valuable for anyone to remember their own death for the reasons that I just stated. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.